Hey everyone, welcome to my new channel, Reality Report with Ryan. For those that already know me, welcome. For those of you that don't, what you can expect is political news, both the US and some abroad. You can also expect commentary on how the woke mind virus is destroying the mental health of a certain group of people. I think we all know what I'm talking about. I also react to crazy lefty TikToks sometimes, and I also react to interview on the street where people are interviewing crazy lefties and just going over the crazy things that they think about and say. So if you're not already, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and lose your mind with the rest of us. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know how the Democrats for the past 4 years have been talking about how nobody's above the law, nobody's above the law, law and order, January 6th, insurrection this, insurrection that. An insurrection that lasted a couple of hours. Meanwhile, we have leftist lunatics taking over the streets, shooting at ICE. Someone just got shot on the other day in Texas, and then there's footage of them trying to block ICE from deporting somebody that they've already detained. They have deportation orders for in front of a courthouse in San Francisco, as well as many other places. These people are actually interfering with law enforcement, actively interfering with law enforcement, fighting law enforcement, putting their hands on law enforcement. And now we have Democrats who want to take everyone's guns away because guns are bad and guns kill people, instead of the other way around, with it being people being the culprits. And now these militias these left-wing militias are obtaining assault weapons from the military. Like, military stores are what sells these things that they're carrying, that they're shooting at ICE officers with. Luckily, a bunch of them are being arrested and put in jail. Y'all, we're gonna run out of prison space because all of the Democrats are gonna wind up in jail for the next 10 to 15, 20, 40 years. Who knows how long? These people are attempting to murder law enforcement for enforcing the federal law, for enforcing our Constitution. They want to murder people. However, they constantly say that they're trying to save our democracy. They're not saving shit. All they're doing is being triggered by the left-wing lunatic Democrats in Congress to go out and enact an actual insurrection that's been going on for a couple months now. So what? And these people are still mentioning January 6th as if it's some type of a, I don't know, some type of a chess piece to make your argument with, to combat the fact that your constituents are actually out there performing an actual armed insurrection. So I want to look at a couple of videos today because this continues to go on, and I want to look at what one of the Congress people had to say in response to a question of, he was asked, what is your response to all of this violence? What is your response to armed people shooting ICE agents?
Joining me now is Department of Homeland Security Public Affairs Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, good to see you. Thanks for being here. What is the administration doing about all of these new attacks on ICE agents?
Maria, our ICE enforcement officers are seeing a 700% increase in assaults against them, but it's even more than that. We're also seeing the doxing of their family members, their spouses, where they work, their children, where they go to school, so they're being targeted. If you lay a single hand on a law enforcement officer, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law under Secretary Noem and President Trump's leadership. But it's more than that as well, Maria, because these politicians, whether it be Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or AOC, continue to vilify our ICE enforcement officers as they just carry out the law and try to make American streets safer.
I mean, it's unbelievable. ICE agents were fighting off a masked mob outside of a San Francisco immigration court yesterday as Democrats are ramping up their fight to make sure that ICE agents conduct their duties unmasked. Senate Democrats even proposing a bill to do that. So, Tricia, you've got, on the one hand, these mobs trying to take down our ICE agents, but then you've got Democrats seeming to condone it.
It is despicable. And keep in mind, Maria, these Homeland Security investigators and our ICE enforcement officers, they're going after the worst. MS-13 gang members, Trende Aragua, highly sophisticated criminal gangs and criminal rings that can easily target our ICE enforcement officers. And the fact that the Democrats want to hand on a silver platter intelligence about our ICE enforcement officers and information tells you everything you need to know. But I do want to mention that marijuana facility raid, and that tells you everything about Gavin Newsom, the fact that he continues to vilify and demonize and attack our law enforcement officers when they actually went out and found that there were 10 children at that marijuana facility likely being exploited, potentially even being trafficked, because 8 of them were unaccompanied. We are trying to figure out how they got there. Were they smuggled? Were they human trafficked? And the fact that Gavin Newsom is trying to obstruct that is disgusting.
Yeah, Tiana, jump in here.
We know that the Open Borders Brigade, they really care about the children when you can get these photo ops. But under Biden's open borders policy, they lost, Tricia, was it 250,000 children? And I know that a large part of that, his own labor secretary was warning that these kids might indeed, as we saw with this marijuana raid, might be working as illegal child slave labor. Is there any update on finding those children? And in what cases have you been tracking these kids being forced to work underage and in violation of labor law?
Tiana, you're absolutely right. Under the Biden administration, it was about 300,000 unaccompanied children who were lost in the system. I think it's an untold story that needs to be shared widely. Under Secretary Noem and HHS, we are working diligently to find these children. So far, about 5,000 unaccompanied children have been found and reunited with a safe guardian or relative, but we're working hard to make sure that number is pumped up and we get these children to safety. It's so wrong what's happened, and it is our top priority, whether it be.
So there's a couple of things I want to address there. First of all, 690% increase in attacks on law enforcement. I don't know if y'all have had as many arguments with people over politics as I have, but every single time, first of all, Democrats act like they hate the police. They all want to defund the police. They think that police are evil, they're all racist, and they target people of color, which we know is not true. Are there racist people? Do some of them happen to be police officers? Yeah, that's a very small percentage of people. I'd say if we have a problem with police, it would probably be an authority complex with the bad, dirty police. And they're not always necessarily targeting brown people. They will target everyone. We should all have a problem with those police officers, but that is a very small minority of police officers. Most of them are really good people. But the Democrats always hate the police. But then if they think that it can benefit their argument, like with January 6th, they always want to say, oh, so you think that people should be pardoned who assaulted police officers on January 6th? What? You must hate the police. You must hate the police. And then they act like they love the police all of a sudden, even though most of the Capitol police officers were just standing around doing not a goddamn thing. If you watch the videos, which none of them actually do. So they want to pull out the police card in that instance. But when you have a 690% increase in assault on law enforcement, regardless of whether it's the police or it's border security or it's immigration control, like, now where's all of that energy at? Where's it at? It's gone. It's completely gone. They don't care. How much more obvious, y'all? I don't even think that I will ever be able to vote for a Democrat ever again, even if the Republicans start to threaten my rights. Because I do not trust these people. I don't trust Democrat voters. I do not trust Democrat politicians. And I have friends that are Democrat voters. What I do trust in my friends that are Democrat voters is that they're good people. What I don't trust is their ability to look into literally one single fucking thing that they have opinions on. And if any of my friends are out there watching, yeah, you should already know that that's my opinion because I've told you before that you never look into anything. I've told you all that. So if you don't want to be my friend anymore, I don't give a fuck. Second, ICE is being doxxed. So these people have no problem with all of these rioters and protesters all wearing masks. All of them are wearing masks. None of them are on duty. None of them are doing their job. None of them are required to be where they're at. None of them are doing anything that anyone of any authority asks them to do. They're voluntarily there, but they're all wearing masks. However, ICE is doing their job. They're required to be there, and these leftist lunatics are doxing them, hunting down their kids and their family members and exposing them and threatening their lives. Of course they're wearing masks. Why on earth are there Democrats in Congress trying to push bills through to prevent law enforcement from wearing masks when their lives and their families' lives are being put in danger because of the Democrat rhetoric? This is pure evil at work here. This is Satan. This is Satan at work right in front of us, performing all of his stuff, all of his evil right in front of us. And luckily, the majority of us understand and see it. But this is just insane. So, of course, they're wearing masks. This is absolutely ridiculous. The other thing that I want to address is the fact that all of these Democrats are talking about, oh, the sick kid with cancer who got deported with his family because his family decided to take him with them because he would be safer with them, who actually got all of his cancer treatment in Honduras and has been in remission for years. Unless something recently happened, this kid is out of treatment, and they're making a fuss over him being deported, saying he won't be able to get the treatment he needs. He already got it before they came here. These people are so stupid, and they pretend like they care about kids. Not one of them will ever mention the 300,000 children that were brought here unaccompanied. God only knows what happened to them. Some of us know what happened to some of them on the way here because they were being transported by the cartels. And I don't know if you really know this, but I know the Democrats don't really understand. The cartels don't give a shit about human rights. Okay? They will violate all of them up to eliminating you from this earth. But you'll never hear any of them speaking about those children, even if you bring it up to them, which I have. And I get nothing. I get nothing. Nothing. Well, but that's all I get. You don't get any outrage from them over these children some of them are being trafficked into sex rings. We know for a fact that the U.S. government has known for years that they are being used for slave labor, which actually was the case in this marijuana farm situation that Gavin Newsom is condemning ICE for going and finding these people. You heard her say they found 10 children working in a marijuana growing facility. 8 of them are unaccompanied, meaning their parents are not in the United States. They came here alone. And then they got trafficked into child labor. God only knows if these kids were even being fed properly, cared for properly, paid for the work that they were doing. And you won't hear any of these people. These people who talk about slavery constantly. We have slavery happening right here, right now in America that Joe Biden facilitated. Well, the people who were running the show, because it clearly wasn't him, but they facilitated it. And these people care so much about kids that they don't give a shit about any of these ones. Not these ones. Nope. Because they want their slave labor. That's what they want. I am thoroughly convinced, and this can sound crazy all at once. I am thoroughly convinced that ever since losing the Civil War, the Democrats have had a plan to figure out some way to get slave labor back. And they have been working diligently ever since to do that, to the extent of what we're seeing today, that they let all of these millions of immigrants, illegal immigrants, over the border claiming to claim asylum, which we know damn well that most of them were not actually, they don't qualify for asylum. But they wanted all of them here to basically pad the census so that they could get more electoral votes in the blue states. Why do we think that they made all of these sanctuary states and cities? They wanted to pad the census so that they could have even more points in the electoral college. And now they're losing it. So they're losing control, which is why they're losing their minds. I want to look at a little bit of footage of what's going on in San Francisco, because these entitled people literally, they don't understand the law. They don't understand the Constitution. They obviously don't have jobs. And how can you be so stupid to not be able to look up what a law is? To not understand that we have had immigration laws this entire time, but they weren't being enforced because of Mayorkas, because of the Biden administration. Now they're being enforced, and these people just lose it. Like, they have no control over their minds, the information that's being filtered into their minds, no interest in actually questioning what they're being told by the Democrats. It's just, it makes me feel like I'm not even in the real world right now. Like, sometimes I have to go back and it's like, is this, what just happened?
Hold back, hold back. Get back!
Yeah, screaming like they're the victims. No. You're breaking the law. Y'all, I could not be a law enforcement officer because my fuse, if y'all can't tell by now, I know some of you already know this, is very, very short. I would not have the patience to deal with that. In fact, my suggestion is open fire. That'll clear them out real quick. You pull that gun out, they'll scatter. Get it? I mean, eventually that's what's going to happen. And then whenever we do have to eventually declare martial law, then the Democrats are going to say, oh my gosh, now Trump is, oh, he's enacting Project 2025. It's going to be the Handmaid's Tale. Nobody's going to have any rights left. He's a king. No, it's because y'all are fucking crazy. And y'all are hurting people. And y'all are impeding law enforcement. You are literally enacting an insurrection. So I want to look at what Hakeem Jeffries, fucking dollar store Obama, has to say when a reporter asked him what is his response to all of this gun violence against law enforcement, all of this physical other violence against law enforcement, the fact that these people are protesting the very Constitution, democracy, and laws that they pretend to hold so dearly. First of all, can I just be a petty bitch for 5 seconds? Does Hakeem Jeffries not kind of look like a zombie? Like, his face is so blank. He's always got these dark circles around his eyes. And he's got this weird stance. He's like a really creepy, almost like a golem. like a Gollum character. And the way that he speaks, trying to sound like Obama, I hate it when they do this. And he's not the only one. There's women, there's men. They do the same thing, and it's so pretentious. It's so annoying, and it is so fake. And they think that they sound so intelligent. No, you sound like you are trying to be like somebody else. There's no genuinity whatsoever. This man creeps me out. He is creepy. He's probably possessed by a demon.
Many of your Democratic colleagues are facing angry voters back in their districts. According to Axios, some are even being told they need to be more willing to go out there and get shot when fighting. That was a direct quote, get shot when fighting back against some of Trump's policies. One House Democrat saying, quote, and I'll read it to you, our own base is telling us that what we're doing is not good enough. There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public. How do you respond to that, Leader Jeffries? Are Democrats not meeting the moment, not doing enough to fight these developments?
Well, we are in a more is more environment in terms of the unprecedented assault on the American way of life and our country that has been launched by Donald Trump and
assault on our American way of life. We're United States citizens. The majority of registered voters voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump ran on deporting illegal immigrants and enforcing the law and the Constitution. That is the American way of life. The American way of life is not let all the third world citizens into our country with no process whatsoever to go wherever the fuck they want and hand over billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in free healthcare, free food, free housing, free transportation, loaded credit cards, free telephones, free telephone services, free Wi-Fi, free luxury hotel rooms. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How does anyone actually believe this? How does anyone listen to what they have to say and say, oh yeah, that's a really great idea. I really think he's right about that one. I really think he's got something there. No, this is completely anti-American. It is anti-US. It is anti-taxpayer. It is anti-American citizen. It is anti-democratic. It is anti-constitutional and anti-law and order. That's what he should have said. Let's see what else he has to say, because we know goddamn well he is not going to address the violence at all.
Compliant House Republicans, more speeches, more rallies, more protests, more sit-ins,
Yeah,
more
that's gonna do it.
press conferences, more town hall meetings in Democratic districts and Republican districts. We're in a more is more environment, and we'll continue to lean in aggressively. At the same period of time, we also are going to span out across the country and talk to the American people about our affirmative vision for making their life better. Imagine
We don't want it. We don't want it.
Everyone can afford to live the good life, a good paying job, good health care, good housing, good education for your children, and a good retirement. That's what Democrats are working hard to bring about. When you work hard in America and when you play by the rules, you should be able to afford to live the good life. And far too many people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. That's unacceptable in the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
So apparently the American way is take the money from the people that actually were strategic and selected high-paying jobs. There's millions out there that nobody's filling because people don't want to use their brains and do hard things like this. So I used to be in sales before I quit my job last year, which I don't make anything from this. Obviously, this is a brand new channel. But this was from the new VP of the previous company that I worked for. I can do hard things. You get paid more money when you do hard things like sales, and there's very labor intensive jobs, trade jobs that nobody's taking because everyone's too busy going to college and getting these stupid fucking DEI degrees that they're never going to be able to do anything with, or the stupid racial studies bullshit. Like, come on. But they're not going to trade schools and getting jobs where they can actually make $70,000 or more per year, or going into sales where they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. No, because that's too hard. I can't tell you how many people, entitled ass mother freaking people, that came in that door thinking this was just going to be simple as pie, and then when it got hard and they didn't get their way and they wanted to do everything their way and it didn't work, then they just quit. They go back to their old jobs where they're making $20,000 a year. It's like, yeah, y'all are entitled. You really think that it's just going to be simple, just like working at 7-Eleven, to go and get a job that pays you $80,000 a year? No, you get paid more when you add value. You do not get paid more if you are standing at a counter and restocking shelves. That you are not bringing anything of value. You are at that point a body. You are a body in it that's just existing there to count money or to stock shelves. You are not going to be paid more because you're not doing anything to bring more money into the business. That's why jobs where you actually do things to bring money into the business pay more, like sales or trade. That's how this shit works. That's why capitalism is so great, because the more you're willing to use this, the more money you can make. The more you're willing to have self-motivation, emotional strength, and determination, the more money you will make, and the more freedom to do what you want you will earn. That's why we don't want socialism. Hakeem Jeffries, you fucking idiot. I cannot. Why do people listen to these people? It's a bunch of lazy people that want to be handed everything, who are jealous of success, and they want so damn well to be recognized as being oppressed that they're just willing to vote in people like Zoran Mamdani, who promise them things that are never going to happen. Like, we're not going to let socialism happen in the United States. I don't think Hakeem Jeffries really even knows at this point. He's gone so far that he doesn't even know what Americans want. These people are so detached from reality, they don't know what Americans want. They have no idea what their constituents want. And the only people that show up to support them are the people that are so brainwashed that they believe everything that they have to say. So then they walk away believing that this is what Americans want, but it's not. And you should be able to tell that by the last election. You should very well be able to tell that by how many black people, Hispanic people, gay people ended up voting for Donald Trump this time. It was a lot. It was unprecedented. And we don't want these riots in our streets. And we want the congressmen who are, and women who are spreading all of this hateful rhetoric to condemn what they've caused and take responsibility for it. But they won't. So tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any content. Definitely make sure you're subscribed right now, because YouTube is in the testing phase. I don't think it's sending my videos out to anyone because the algorithm is trying to figure out what to do with my channel. So make sure that you check back. If you didn't see a video, I'm trying to make a video every single day. I made a short earlier, so make sure you watch that. And make sure to leave comments, start conversations in the comments, press the like button, and I will see you on the next one.